guys, I have a fun one for you today, as you've probably already seen.
I don't know, I haven't made the video yet.
I am going to show you how to make these very fun drawstring shorts based off of Patrick Starr's shorts from SpongeBob. This has taken me a really long time to make. Longer than projects usually take me. I've been working on it for the last couple of weeks on and off. But yeah, it's a really straightforward pattern. This is actually going to be in 2 parts. I'm working on a button-up top to go with the shorts that matches the color of Patrick's skin, which I think is so fun and cute. Once that is posted next week, I will have both of these patterns available for purchase on my Etsy shop. I don't know if I'll do them individually or as a set. Maybe I'll do both and give you a little deal for buying the set. I don't know. You can follow me on Instagram for updates on that. You can follow me on TikTok. I'm trying to be a little more active on TikTok, although it's not really working. But definitely follow me on Instagram for more frequent updates. I frequently share photos of works in progress. Sometimes I ask you guys what you want me to make, which is fun. We do polls. Yeah, give me a follow there. Like this video, subscribe, it really helps me out. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So for Patrick's shorts, I bought this kind of yarn. I wanted cotton yarn. I wanted something that was going to be breathable and comfy to wear. I don't know, acrylic, I don't know, that just sounds gross to wear
On your butt.
I grabbed these. I have the color Orchid and Hot Green, which is an interesting name. These are the Lily Sugar and Cream supersized skeins. I got 3 of these and 1 of these. I haven't really planned this out. I don't know how much I'm gonna need, so like I said, I kind of expect to need more, but to start out, this is what I have. So that did end up being enough yarn. I float around 2 to 3x in bottoms. These have good stretch, and as you wear them over time, they will stretch out a bit. So 3 skeins of the green and 1 of the purple was plenty for me. If you need to make bigger shorts, maybe consider getting more. If you wear smaller shorts, then get less. But also, very typical of me, I totally forgot to mention any of the other materials that you need. So along with that weight for cotton yarn, I used a 6mm crochet hook. It is a bit big, but I wanted there to be some holes so that it was breathable and more comfortable. Don't be afraid of the holes on your pants. As long as you don't wear crazy colored underwear, nobody's gonna see your stuff. I recommend just a nude pair of underwear. Anything that matches your skin tone. It will not be noticeable. But if you are concerned about it, this pattern is made to measure, so you can use a smaller crochet hook if you want. You just might have some heavy pants. You're gonna need a measuring tape to take your measurements. You want stitch markers. And then you'll need the standard darning needle, scissors, you know, a recap. Weight for cotton yarn, 6mm crochet hook, measuring tape, stitch markers, scissors, darning needle. I think that's it. Okay? Okay. So, for your measurements, okay, to start, I'm just gonna measure around my thigh. Whoa, brother. Did you hear that? My dog just ripped ass. It's okay, Henry, you don't have to leave. But you're gonna measure around your thigh. I have huge thighs and a fat ass, so these pants are gonna be awesome. Around your butt. And then around maybe, I guess, your waist. These are going to be drawstring shorts, so waist measurement, not super important unless you think your waist is wider than your butt, in which case you are just going to want whatever measurement is widest so that they fit comfortably. So the first thing I'm going to do is, now that I have my thigh measurement, I'm going to make a chain the length of that measurement and slip stitch to the first chain. after I do this, you're going to want to make sure that you count the number of chains that you have and mark it so that you know how many you need for the other side. So I'm going to do that now.
A few moments later.
Perfect. So now, right before I slip stitch, actually, I'm going to count how many chains that was. Write that down. I forgot what it was. Oh my god. So I'm going to count again, making sure my chain is not all twisted up. Slip stitch into the first. So then I'm going to chain one, single crochet into that same chain, and then single crochet around. I'll meet you back when I'm done with that. So I made 3 20 by 20 grids so that you can make the flowers, and I really went into this not having any plan, to be completely honest. I think it looks best when it's kind of random, so I decided to just kind of incorporate them as I went. I decided to start a flower in the very first row of single crochets. So what I did was I marked a 20 stitch space. I marked the first stitch and the 20th stitch so that when I reached that stitch marker, I knew that I needed to start referencing my grid so that I could start incorporating the color changes where I needed to. Like I said, there are 3 different flower grids just to give you some variety. Yeah, and I encourage you to just kind of go with the flow and put them where you're feeling like you want them. If you make larger pants, you will have more flowers maybe. If you make smaller pants, you might have less. I don't know, you can make them as dense or as spread out as you would like. It's totally up to you and your preference. So only thing I would really recommend you be mindful of is like where your crotch is. Just know like which side you want to be the outside of your pant leg and what side you want to be the inside. And I only say this because, so what we're doing in this step is we're forming each pant leg. So we'll make it the length you want it. And then we are going to like sew those 2 pant legs together in the middle to form a crotch. So like, I would not recommend putting any flowers near the crotch, not for any other reason than it might get a little complicated to continue it as we work up the rest of the way through the pants. I'm going to go into Stitch Fiddle and figure out how I want to make my little flowers. So my grid is set up to be 20 by 20 stitches, of course, single crochets, and that's how big our little flowers are going to be. I don't know what they are, I guess. I'm not going to single crochet all the way around, I think. I think I want to start, I think I'm going to actually get started on my first flower. So what I'm going to do, since they're 20 by 20, I'm going to use stitch markers and I'm going to mark where I start and stop each like 20 by 20 square. My purple here, so I'm gonna start one here. And if you want like a more in-depth look at doing color changes and color work in crochet, you can check out my checker bucket hat video. I go really in depth with that one, with how I like to do color changes and all that good stuff. Just like you wrote out somewhere how many chains you have in that first chain that you did, the width of your thigh, you are going to also mark how many rows you're using in your pant leg. Figure out how long you want them to be, and then once you're done with a leg, write down how many rows that was so that you can make the other side match. I'm working on my second pant leg here. I have marked out with stitch markers a section of 20 stitches, and then when I reach this first stitch marker, I just start using this grid as my reference. I'll include this in a PDF in the description. I also have this version so that there can be some variation. I'm doing that for both pant legs. I already have one pant leg done over here. On that pant leg, I have 2 flowers, and on this one, I'm just gonna have 1, and then I will work 2 more flowers onto like the one onto the butt and one more onto the top front. So I hope that makes sense. And you can put these wherever you want. I just think I like giving you the option of putting them wherever you want. But yeah, it's really simple, so cool. Okay, so now what I've done, as you can see here, I have one finished pant leg. If you haven't finished your flower, that's okay. We'll finish it in the coming rows as we're moving on. So what I did was, well, first I folded it on the seam right here, and I found my middle stitch. This is the middle stitch for my crotch, basically. So I did that by just marking the opposite stitch on the fold. And then I folded it again, but the other way, with this seam lining up with that middle marked stitch, and I marked the stitches on either fold once again. And then I found the middle stitch and I marked that here. And then once you mark these middle stitches on either side, you can remove these end ones. But these 3 stitches are basically marking the beginning, middle, and end of your crotch. So then you can count how many stitches are in between this middle stitch marker and the end ones, and just repeat that on the other leg. And I have already done that. So basically, our pant legs are going to go together like this. They'll be slip stitched together, and that will form the crotch of our pants. I would recommend maybe stitch marking these together, or if you don't feel confident in your stitch markers, maybe pin them together with safety pins and try them on. If you need to adjust the size of your crotch at all, do that here. Try to avoid having to make any alterations after you've sewn this piece together, because the only way to fix that is undoing it. I hope that is a good explanation. I am going to move on now and again slip stitch together these pieces on this stitch marker. I kind of fucked up here, and like this flower is going to be like in my crotch basically, which is fine. It's not a huge deal. There's not much more to say. I'm going to sew this together and then I will meet you back at the next step. And there, so now you can see it looks a bit silly, but we've got the framework here for our pants. Now basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my yarn at one of the sides. If you prefer to attach it in the middle or whatever, feel free, it doesn't really matter. But I am just going to single crochet around in continuous rounds until basically they're like falling down, until they're like as long as I want. It does not matter if it's like super wide around the waist, it just needs to fit over your butt, because there will be a drawstring around the waist so that you can tie it up. So I think that's it. It does look a little like, it looks a little wonky, but I have been trying them on as I've been going, and I encourage you to do the same. Just keep trying them on. They're sturdy, they can handle it. That is all there really is to add, and now I'm going to move on and show you how to make the waistband. So, exciting stuff. Okay, so here I am at the end of my last round of single crochets. My pants are exactly the length I want them to be, and now I'm going to start the waistband. To start the waistband, I'm going to slip stitch into this first stitch of the next round, and then I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then I'm going to double crochet into that same stitch that I just slip stitched into. And now I'm going to double crochet around. Here I have made my way back to the beginning of the round. To finish off round 1, I'm going to slip stitch into my first double crochet that I made. And now to start round 2, I'm going to chain 2 again, double crochet into the same stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next, and repeat that around. Now again, I've made it to the end. I'm going to slip stitch into that first double crochet that I made. And now for round 3, we chain 2 again, double crochet into that first stitch, or that same stitch rather, double crochet into the chain 1 space, and double crochet into the next double crochet. So we will be double crocheting into the chain 1 spaces and the stitches. And we're going to do that all the way around. And this is the last round of the waistband, so as always I'm going to slip stitch into that first double crochet that I made, and now I'm going to tie off. Now we're going to make a drawstring, and to do this we're just going to make a chain long enough to tie around your waist. Oops. So we're going to make that chain long enough to tie around your waist, and then we are going to single crochet back to the beginning and tie off. That'll just make it a little sturdier so that it won't stretch out so much. Now that your waist tie is done, we can weave it in and out of our waistband. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the front center of our pants, and the center is going to be obviously like directly above your crotch seam. Boop. So we're gonna weave this in and out of that second row where all these little gaps are from the chain 1 spaces, you know? And now your pants have a cute little drawstring. And you can tie them. How sweet. Nice. And just like that, you have a pair of shorts. Now weave in your 5 million ends. Sorry about that. How is that? See, that's super simple. Lots of color changes. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I do have another video where I go more in depth on changing colors. That is my checker bucket hat tutorial. I will try to remember to link that in the cards or something for you. It's very customizable. Make it based on your measurements. Put the little stars wherever you want. Change the color if you want. Or they're not stars, they're flowers. Change the color if you want. I don't know.
Change whatever the fuck you want.
Do your pants. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see from me in the future. If you have any questions, you can drop those in the comments and I will help you out. You can also email me if you need any help. You can buy the written pattern, which is a little more in-depth with photos and stuff. You can buy that on my website or on my Etsy. Although, like I said, that won't be up until next week. Enjoy your shorts. Later.